Hi darling, hi darling, hi darling, hi darling, hi darling, hi darling. Welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for being here. We're doing another like sapphic queer whisper ramble video today because I really enjoyed the last one and somebody suggested a topic that I thought was going to be like interesting to talk about, and it might be helpful for some people or like funny and relatable for others. We're going to be talking about like the questioning phase of like questioning whether you're gay or not, or maybe for some people it's questioning whether you're bi or a lesbian. Yeah, I don't know. I was going to say that my experience might have been different to other people's, but to be honest, like, I'm really not that special. We all had a crazy different experience, do you know what I mean? Everyone's experience is very different. So, yeah, it doesn't really, you know, I'm sure we're all different, but some of these you might be able to like laugh at. That's what I was saying. It's either going to be helpful or it'll be like funny for you or a bit relatable. Yeah, so thank you to whoever recommended this topic because I think it's fun to talk about. I have a drink. I just have like some water pouring, and I also have some sweets. These are so nice. I got these yesterday. I haven't really eaten many of them yet. They look like this, and they're like strawberry, you know, like fizzy strawberry sweets. So I will have one now. I'm trying not to be too loud. Also, before we start, let me know what you think of the lighting. I've gone for something a little bit darker, which might be nice if you're trying to sleep, to get you into a calming mood, and some orange lighting because it's good for sleep, right? Like the yellow light, not blue light. These are so good. They're a bit sour, but they're really good. Let me know what sweets you like down below. Also, they're so good. Let me know in the comments, like, I don't know, your thoughts on the things that we talk about today. It was so interesting to read all of your comments on the last topic. It was like the one that was about looking gay. It was so interesting to read all your comments, so if I found it interesting, I'm sure other people did as well. So leave your thoughts below, and then we can all sort of like read each other's topic opinions and things like that. This is like a whispered ramble, or maybe soft spoken. But anyway, it's like a ramble video, but I do have kind of like some points that I want to say, but it's also going to be random. Let me eat this. Oh, stop. I have such a sweet tooth. Like, I love sweet foods so much. Way more than savoury. Also, my nails, don't look at them. I haven't painted them. They're really chipped. It's really ugly. I mean, I'm like, don't look at them, and I showed you. Anyway, it doesn't matter. Okay. So, talking about like the questioning side. I know some people probably, well, some people do go through life thinking they are straight, and then they begin to question whether they might be into girls as well for whatever reason. We're going to talk about some reasons and things that you might have done to help you realise that you were gay, or some things that might help you realise. It's like funny to look back on these things. If you're somebody like that already knows, it's really funny to look back on them. Yes, you might have started out as straight, or you might have been bi or pan, figuring out if you're actually just a lesbian. The thing is, like, I think it's very hard to realise even that you might like girls. For me, I always knew that I liked girls, but I didn't know if I was a lesbian or if I was just bisexual. That's the thing. I think, though, for some people it can be hard to even realise if you like girls, because the world that we grow up in is so straight. Like, straight is really seen as like the normal, or like what everyone is, and then anything outside of that is seen as like a deviation and like different, when really it's just they're like side by side. Do you know what I mean? It's not like one of them is normal. I mean, clearly being gay is normal, but I mean, like, both of them are as normal as each other, whereas society treats everyone like they're straight. Do you know what I mean? You're assumed straight until you say otherwise, whereas unless you're somebody who's like very obviously gay, I know some people say that they came out and their friends and family were like, yeah, we knew, which is like kind of funny. But mostly you're assumed that you're going to be straight, especially if you're somebody that doesn't look so gay, whatever that means, you know what I mean? But we're just very influenced by that, like growing up. If you're always assumed straight, the same way as anything else, like you are just influenced by your environment and culture and the things you grow up in. They obviously play a huge part in shaping your like understanding of the world, and even shaping the things that you enjoy and your like opinions and things. Like, if you grow up like massively playing a sport, your perception of life is like, you know, that this sport is a massive deal, whereas to other people, they don't really play it, so they don't think about it. It's like if you grow up like a theatre kid, your life revolves around theatre, so obviously that massively shapes who you are. Like, hence why we have the theatre kid thing. I love theatre kids, nothing wrong with that. Yeah, like people that grow up like I don't know, you know, those are the only examples I can think of. Or if you grow up in a country where one religion is very important, that is obviously the one that you will most likely follow. It shapes your understanding of the world. Yeah, if you grow up in the UK, I don't know. But you know what I mean? Like, you're literally shaped by it. So of course, when we grow up, we all grow up in like majorly straight societies. So of course we're shaped into, even we think that straight is the norm, like, you know, until we realise that actually it's just one option. And everyone else that is straight will, sometimes not even on purpose, but they do just push that onto you. Even if your parents are very accepting and understanding, they still just subconsciously do push that on you until you say otherwise. Yeah, so it is like, you know, really difficult to, obviously you internalise that growing up without even realising. You do just internalise that you're probably straight without even realising, like, before you even know the concept of straight. Yeah, even the gayest of us, do you know what I mean? Okay, my camera was full, but I've had a sweet break and I've put the footage onto my laptop, so we're good to go, what was I saying? Oh yeah, what I was saying was basically, long story, I'm taking the long story long here, but basically how you're raised is to be straight, right? And this is what can make it like really difficult to realise even that you might be gay. And this is what makes you think that you would even have to question it. In reality, it's really not that deep. Like, you're either one thing or you're not. It's really not that deep. Your sexuality shouldn't be that deep. So it's crazy that it even is. And the reason that it's so hard for a lot of people to realise if they are sapphic is because you're really raised to make it seem like you're not going to be, or even sometimes like you shouldn't be. I think it depends where you're raised, you know, in like different countries or different cultures, societies, even your parents and their views. All these things can make it really difficult for some people to realise that they are gay. But yeah, I don't know, it's easy to see from these things how internalised homophobia or complex can like really easily sneak up on you without even realising, because of course when you're raised as if straight is the norm, especially if you're somebody that's a bit more feminine, it's just the combat is really, really pushed on you, which is, I think, for me, why it was so difficult to realise that I was lesbian and not bisexual, because the combat is just crazy. I definitely always knew that I was attracted to girls, but it was like, for me, I was always kind of imagining scenarios where I could be attracted to a guy, which is just like, why would I do that? But it's because I think that I should be, because of the society that I was raised in. That's kind of combat, do you know what I mean? Like the thinking that I would be. And I think even if you found it harder to realise that you might be bisexual or pan or whatever, sapphic, because you are kind of raised to think that you should be attracted to guys, or that you would be attracted to guys, even when you're probably not, or even when you might not be, do you know what I mean? Or it's harder to realise that you're attracted to girls because nobody really talks about it as an option for you, even though of course it is. It should just be normal, like an option for everyone. Everyone should just be, you know, like open to choose. So yeah, and I think, like I was saying about the internalised homophobia as well, when you're raised in societies like this, depending on how strict people's views are about gay people around you, it can be even harder, because some people talk about how they had so much homophobia inside of them to then realise that actually they're sapphic. It's crazy. It's really crazy. Yeah. I made some notes. That's why I'm squinting, because I don't have my glasses on. I think I could talk for way longer about internalised homophobia or combat, but we're talking about questioning here, so I'm going to keep it like on topic. But yeah, I think as well, even being raised to think that everyone's straight, it's like when your family, when you're younger, they'll talk to you about like marriage, or when you and your friends talk about crushes and boys, and you know, when like adults would make jokes if you had a new friend of the opposite gender, like, oh, is that going to be your boyfriend, you know, all these things. Nobody ever says that to you if you have a new girl, a friend as a girl, or a new girl that you're like obsessed with, you know. I think also when we're younger, those of us that are sapphic, we did have maybe that one friendship where it was like very intense, verging on like romantic friendship, you know, where it's clear that it's different from a normal friendship, but you don't really know why. Maybe like in your early teens and stuff, or I don't know. I think a lot of us have that, or, which is like definitely a sign for some people that actually they might be sapphic, because that person, like that girl, probably didn't know either, and she might have been sapphic as well, or might have just been one-sided. But yeah, those intense friendships will go on to like the funny signs that, you know, people talk about realising after. But intense friendships are definitely one of them. I think if you are struggling to realise whether you like girls or not, like I said, it's like, don't overthink it. It's really not that deep. You wouldn't ever, hardly any straight people sit down and really question, am I really straight? They don't get interrogated by other people. If you say, I think I might like girls, people will be like, are you sure you haven't been with a girl? Like, you might just be confused. If you sat down and you said, yeah, I think I might like this guy, people would just be like, yeah, no, that's fine, you know. So they are one and the same. People just don't treat it that way, so don't overthink it. If you think you like girls, you probably do like girls, and you don't need experience or something to prove that that's the case, because you just don't. Like I said, it's really not that deep. I mean, it is deep, it's amazing, but in terms of you know, other people's perceptions, and you like overthinking it and worrying about it so much, it's not that deep. You can just like girls, that's completely fine. So yeah, it's as well, if you're not too sure and you don't really have that much experience of queer culture, again, it's really good to like immerse yourself into that and sort of explore that side of the world, because as we said, like growing up and things, everything is completely straight. if you think about the movies you watched as a kid, like Cinderella and everything, it's always a straight couple. In the storybooks, it's always like a mummy and a daddy, and it's again like straight. Any TV shows, books that you read, everything, like adverts when we were younger, I guess less so now, but when we were younger, almost every form of media. I don't remember ever seeing a gay couple or a lesbian couple, definitely not. Even now, like, it's very rare to see lesbians, it's more gay, you know, or, you know, sapphic relationship. Not everyone who's sapphic is a lesbian. But growing up, you know, everything I saw was straight completely, and that's how I was, you know, experiencing the world growing up. So if you actually take the time to watch queer movies and TV shows and read gay books and watch podcasts, and in my last sapphic ramble, some people recommended some good podcasts, so I'd recommend going to the comments there because people were giving some good ones. Like, I got recommended some good, like, new ones, which was nice. Yeah, like, there's some people do TikTok lives. I know, I can think off the top of my head, like, you know, Marlon and Jules, that mask couple, they do TikTok lives sometimes. They're really cute, and they do vlogs and Q&As and things. Or also there's a girl called Carrie Cassandra, and her partner Laura, they do vlogs as well. Those are really cute. So things like that, queer music, things like that, just immersing yourself in queer culture the same way you've been literally immersed into straight culture. That can just help. Representation is really important. Yeah, I make, like, almost everything I consume is sapphic now, because otherwise I just don't feel represented, and I can't relate. If it's not relatable, why would I watch it? Even, it's so weird, but even the things I'm watching that aren't necessarily related to dating, just like, you know, movies or books or anything, I prefer to watch or read like something sapphic because it's just more relatable and it's just more fun for me to watch. If it's a straight couple, I just don't get the same, like, enjoyment out of it. I don't know, probably because you spend so much of your life watching with straight couples, so it's like, I'm kind of over it. Do you know what I mean? It's not relatable for me. Water break, also a sweet break, I think, before we talk about the funny things looking back on and realising that you're gay. You should also say in the comments if you feel comfortable, like, did you always know that you were attracted to women, or was it something you realised over time? And like, what helps you realise, because I think it's helpful for other people. Might be somebody watching this that's still figuring it out. And I think that's like one really good thing about the internet, is we can all help each other now. Whereas like before, we probably wouldn't have got that chance. I made a twist. Like this. These are so good. So, need some water. And some lip gloss, I think. This one smells really good, but I really can't describe the scent. I don't know what it is. It's like, I don't know. You can just tell me. I don't know what it is. It smells like, I don't know, something edible. But I just don't know what. Okay. Maybe it's around my mouth. If it is, I'm really sorry. It's nothing I can do. So, I guess we already spoke about one of them a little bit, which is the having an intense female friendship when you're younger. I know I had like a couple like intense female friendships that didn't just feel like friendships looking back on it, and I know those girls are now sapphic, so it's like, you know, or even if she isn't now, it's just the thought of being really like one friend where you two kind of connect on like a different level. Yeah, or on the same side as that, I was watching a TikTok and the girl said that she used to always have this craving for a really, really, really strong friendship with another girl, and that she was getting ready with her girlfriend one day. They were like putting their makeup on and like kissing and things, and she was like, oh my god, this is what I wanted. And that is so cute, and I really relate to that, like that feeling of like getting ready together, and it's really cute, you know. It's like that truly is how it feels when you're like dating your best friend, and getting ready together and things, because it really is like a really strong female friendship, of course, because you should be friends with your partner and like spending time with them. But yeah, if you ever had that craving for a really strong female bond, a really strong friendship when you were younger, it's possible that you were craving a partner. If you feel like you had good friendships but they just weren't really fulfilling what you want, because I think I did that as well, you know, like I wanted a stronger friendship even though I've always had good friendships, luckily. But I think that sorry if you heard my stomach. I think that is as well something that I did, like craved a really strong female friendship. It's like, no, I was craving a partner, that's what I wanted, but I didn't know how it felt at the time, because also I wasn't really that interested in a relationship with guys like that. It's not the same, and I never craved a really strong bond with a guy like that, how I feel like girls would that are into men. But yeah, craving that really strong bond where you just relate on a whole lot of a level, and it's romantic as well. Maybe that part wasn't so involved for you, but that is the craving of a partner. It's just so funny to look back on, and when I listened to that TikTok I was like, wow, yeah, I didn't realise it, but that was definitely not a sign, because I already knew, but part of, you know, it all. The other one is like having really strong obsessions with female characters in movies, or maybe with female actresses or public figures, just having a really strong obsession with them to the point where you look up the things they do and you're basing your personality off them. I didn't do this, but I know from like being online and things that a lot of girls have said that they do. Like they would have a really strong obsession with a certain female actress and they would just know everything about her, which is funny because like of course you had a crush on her. Maybe you did that one, I didn't, but I feel like that's a good one. And on the same kind of branch as that is like maybe you thought that you want to be her, but actually you just wanted to be with her. I know people always joke about not being able to figure out if you want to be her or you want to be with her, but maybe when you were younger, if you would have a really strong obsession with a certain woman, you probably like maybe you wanted to be with her instead of wanting to be her, especially if it's somebody that's more outside of your style, like personal style. And if it's somebody that does something that you're not really that interested in, it's like, why would you want to be her if she's like, I don't know, a footballer and you just really don't give a single, like you don't care about football? Why would you want to be with her? Why would you want to be her? You just want to be with her. And another one actually that I did that's kind of on this branch is having, I mean I do actually have a really, really strong interest in fashion, and I love looking at girls' outfits and style and stuff, like that is something I really enjoy. But also it's like, I don't know, having a Pinterest board where you'd save fashion inspo and things, and it just ends up being like women in suits or somebody that's like, you end up clearly having a type. It's not that you're saving clothes that you would never wear, and it's not really your style, but everyone just ends up looking similar on the Pinterest board, and it's like, I don't know how to describe it, because looking back and I can tell that some of it was because I liked fashion, because I still do, I love it, I love looking at people's outfits, but some of it is because I actually just had a crush on that person, especially if it was like a style, I don't know, someone's style that I was looking up to, that I actually didn't really like that fashion, I just liked looking at it on them. You know what I'm saying? Like, of course I liked looking at it on them because I had a crush on them. Yeah, I feel like that's a good one that people don't really talk about. I've never heard anyone else say that. Maybe I'm wrong. I'm literally not a special boy. But for me, I know that's where I've verged on sometimes. Like, why am I saving photos with girls in suits? I'm never going to wear a suit like that, you know. So let me know if you did that one as well, because I feel like I did. What have I got? Oh yeah, okay. If you ever had a boyfriend when you were younger that you would like avoid, I did this when I was like in primary school, and you'd have like a boyfriend. I would always run away and not want to like be near him or play with him or something. And also when I was younger, I had really weird feelings about marriage. Like, I really did not like the idea of getting married. Always said I didn't want to get married, and that's because I was raised in a straight world, you know, and I never ever got spoken to about the possibility of marrying a woman. So I always just said, like, I'm not getting married. When it's like, no, actually I would like be interested in that, just not in the way that I saw it represented when I was younger. So if you ever felt like really strongly about marriage and now you're sapphic, it all makes sense. Because as soon as I kind of really considered that I could actually marry a woman, I was like, oh, suddenly I feel so much better about it. Which I don't really know when that switch happened, but I know other people say that as well, like a really strong aversion to marriage. Yeah, especially if you're in the questioning stage now. Maybe you've not thought about it before, but the thought of like spending your future with a woman that you're friends with and you also love, like, romantically, if that brings you a lot of peace and calm, whereas a typical marriage feels restrictive and restraining, that might be a sign for you to consider. Oh yeah, this is a funny one that I know I see girls saying all the time, and it's like, when you were younger and you'd pick a crush, like, you would pick a crush to have on a guy, so if somebody asked you like, who's your crush, you would have somebody to say. Or yeah, I don't know why, if your friend was like, oh, I fancy this guy, and if my friend was like, oh yeah, I fancy this guy, I'd be like, oh yeah, I fancy his friend. That's so funny to me, because I remember vividly who these people are, so it's just funny, like, now to look back on it, like, look back as well and think, if you ever picked a crush, you picked someone to have a crush on, like, that is really funny. Because imagine actually dating that person, especially if you did have a crush on somebody and then you dated them and you were like, okay, well, now it feels a bit performative. That's how I think, like, a lot of it felt for me. Like, it just felt like performative, like I was taking part because that's what everyone else was doing, not because that's what I wanted to do. It's like, I could, so I'll just take part. I don't know. But yeah, I know a lot of people say that about picking crushes and stuff, which is just really funny, because now I know very clearly who I would have a crush on, who I have a crush on. I know very clearly, and it's not something that I have to force or think about. You don't have to think like, oh, who should I have a crush on now? I mean, maybe you do because it's fun, but like, when we're younger, I know a lot of girls say that they would think about who they had a crush on, so that if somebody asked them like, who's your crush, you'd have like a quick answer, so it wasn't suspect. I don't know. Oh yeah, this isn't one that I did, but I know this is one that other girls have told me, or so you might have felt it yourself, or if you're still questioning, you might feel it, and that is struggling with touchy friendships. Like, it makes you feel a bit uncomfortable if you don't like to be huggy or touchy in your friendships. I know someone who's like a massive lesbian, and she does not like she has loads of female friends, she just doesn't like to be like touchy with them. And I think for a lot, like, I'm actually very touchy with my friends, like, I'm fine with it, but some girls, like, they don't like being touchy with their friends. I don't know why, but yeah, if like female touch makes you feel uncomfortable, or maybe it just makes you feel a bit flustered, especially if you're still in the closet, or you live somewhere where being gay is seen as bad, or you think you might have a lot of internalized homophobia, I could see how this one could manifest, like being scared of being accused of anything if you were seen touching somebody, or if it just makes you uncomfortable. I don't know though, because some people are generally just like, genuinely don't enjoy being touchy with their friends, and it's not related to being gay. So now I'm saying it out loud, I'm like, maybe not. But I don't know, maybe like if you are questioning and you don't feel that comfortable with female touch with your friends, you could have a think about why that may be, if it is related to being gay, or if it's just like, I don't know. Now I'm saying it out loud, I'm questioning that one. But I just thought about it because of the person I know. I'm like, I know other people have said it, but for different reasons. Okay. If you were somebody that would rewatch a certain movie scene or certain music videos because the character like looks good in that scene, yeah, if you would constantly rewatch the music video for something, or always like want to rewatch a certain movie or a certain scene or something because of the way the character is moving or saying something, that is a crush. You have a crush, you find it cute the way that she did that, that's why you're rewatching it. I think when I heard somebody else say this, I was like, oh my god, that's why I used to always do that, and still do, of course. Like, you know, when you just like rewatch something, like that's why I was doing that, because I had a crush on them. I didn't think about it at the time. That's why it's so funny to go through these reasons, because it's like the ones where you're like, oh my gosh, I did that. And I'm sure when I read your comments as well, I'll be like, oh my gosh, you know, it's really funny to like look back on these things. Okay, the next one is something that I actually do. Again, I couldn't tell if it was because I liked somebody's style or not, but it's like related. If somebody posts an Instagram photo or a story and you're like stopping and you're looking at it and you're like, that is so cool, and it's like, do I think that is really cool because I wish I'd done it, or is it because I fancy her, or like because I have a little, you know, because you think it looks cute? I'm not going to say crush because I feel like crush is ongoing, but you know, sometimes when somebody posts something and you just start like looking at it and you're like, that's really good. It might be because you are gay, might be because you think she looks good there, just saying, or it might just be because you like the outfit, whatever. But I don't know, that one could go either one of two ways. I think sometimes when I do it, I'm looking because I wish I'd come up with that photo idea or that outfit or whatever, but sometimes it's also my interest is there because it's a girl, you know. But when a guy posts, I'm like, that's fine, like, you didn't need to share that. You could have kept that to yourself. Yeah. So, yeah, if you're in the questioning phase though, I would really recommend getting involved with queerness as much as you can. Like I said, through media. As if you're somewhere where you might be in trouble, if you were to come out now, then do that safely, you know. If it's like a parental situation or whatever, then don't put yourself at risk. But if you're able to go to queer events or bars or something like that, then obviously do. Online spaces as well, like forums and things. Yeah, trying to make queer friends in real life as well, which, depending on where you live, it can be more difficult than for some than others. But just trying to immerse yourself in queerness however you can is really going to help you realise that it's more normal and help you come to terms with the fact that you probably are sapphic. Like, I don't think you're in the questioning phase if you're not some form of sapphic. It's also completely fine to question something in your head first before you tell everyone else. Like, if you're wondering if you're pan or you're a lesbian, or if you're bi or a lesbian, you could just sit with the label in your head for a while, tell yourself that that's what you are, but not share it with the world, and see how that makes you feel. If it makes you feel comfortable, if it makes you feel seen, if you feel more confident, if telling yourself that you're a lesbian feels good for you, then, you know, that's fine. You can just sit on it first. Or even if you're wondering if you're bisexual or something, you know, you can just keep it in your head, tell yourself that until you feel comfortable to tell other people. If you feel like you wish you were bisexual, or you wish you were a lesbian, something like this, then you probably are. You're not just like, like, why would you wish that? because you are. You just haven't like realised it yet. But again, I think it's nice to sometimes just tell yourself in your head. That's what I did. I just started telling myself in my head, like, okay, I'm a lesbian. And then over time I was like, yeah, you know, it's kind of easier that way. You don't have to tell anyone anything until you figure it out for yourself. But what I will say is you really do only have one life, so it's better to just not live it in denial. Yeah, I remember what I said about it not being that deep. It's really not a big deal. It might seem like it to other people, but we know that it's not a big deal. To be sapphic, whatever branch of sapphic you are, it's really not a big deal. You can just like, you can't just be gay. It's not a problem. It's fine. But yeah, what are your thoughts? I feel like there's so much more I could have said, and probably some signs I'm missing as well. But let me know what you think. I had a lot of fun sitting and talking with you today. Bit of sugar on my throat. Oh my gosh. You know when you swallow the sugar, it like sits on your throat and you're like, anyways. God, that was stressful. I had so much fun sitting and chatting with you today. I really like doing these sapphic rambles. It's nice. I like listening to ramble videos, and I wish there was more like sapphic ones that I could listen to, so I hope you guys are enjoying them. Of course there are more roleplays coming. Thank you so much for being so positive about my last few videos. I'm really, really, really grateful because I had a lot of fun filming them and I was really excited to release them, so yeah, thank you so much. As always, thank you for being here. Let me know if there's anything you want to see from me or anything you want to hear me talk about next. I'm so grateful for everyone who is watching. I love you so much.